It is a one-of-a-kind location, being a world biosphere, home to 2 Canadian national parks, the largest intact forest in southern Ontario, hundreds of kilometres of shoreline along Lake Huron and Georgian Bay. The ecological significance of the area is forefront in the race organisers' minds. The utmost care is taken to respect the First Nations and private lands throughout the whole course. The area is so lightly used by humans, it's a mecca for all kinds of flora and fauna. This year, a bear was spotted by one of the marshals. The athletes were dutifully notified as they approached the area, and the race continued. Behind the scenes is an army of volunteers, assisting with every aspect of the race, from registration and equipment check-in, all the way through to tidying up when everyone has gone. At check-in, people are moved along with a military-like precision, with bikes and kayaks being tagged and trailered off on the way. The moment a competitor arrives, it is quite apparent that organisers know what they are doing, and there is a sense of comfort that goes with that. As they travel along in the bus, ideas and thoughts float through their heads. Have I packed the right equipment? Do I have the right food? Is the boat the right boat? Is the paddle going to be the right paddle? Many options float through their heads, even down to the style of footwear that should have been selected or chosen. One thing is for certain. The race is happening now. Decisions have been made. As the racers leave the bus, walking through the darkness towards the starting beach, safety is often foremost in their mind. One thing's for certain. The race organisers have got that covered. They have course sweepers, first aid responders, hydration stations, safety boats, and of course access to emergency service providers. One quite unique thing the race has is an amazing network of amateur radio operators who create a giant chat line spanning the whole racecourse and peninsula. The Bruce Peninsula Multisport Race has a very comprehensive safety plan. It incorporates all of the requirements necessary to be part of the Canadian Adventure Racing Association. Management plans have been meticulously created, detailing what procedures, communication protocols, and what information should be transferred to emergency services if an emergency situation arises. Jack's briefing carefully explains every detail of the course before inviting the competitors to head to their boats. With the start on the way, the racers paddle out towards a large island, which they will need to go around, crossing some of the deepest water of Colpoys Bay. With depths of 300 feet beneath them and the sun rising, they paddle, escorted by safety boats. The excitement and friendly banter is slowly replaced by the sounds of the paddles cutting through the water and the gentle chugs of the safety boats. As time goes on during the paddling section of the race, the minds of the competitors start to wander. As they contemplate what they have ahead, how far is the ride? How hard is the run? These are the questions going on in their mind. The bike course is split into 2 distinct stages, with about 65 kilometres of riding. Eventually they end up in the little village of Hope Bay and run an 8-kilometre section. The section begins with a monstrous climb up the escarpment. Sometimes the athletes run next to caves, next to crevasses, or cliff edges, until they finally make their way around and back down to where they started. By now, the majority of athletes are spread out. Many have not heard another competitor for miles, let alone seen one. They are surrounded by nature, and in their heads they go over their race plan. Keep hydrated, eat regularly, keep moving. These are the important things. And finally, after the final transition, they will end up with a 16-kilometre run along the Bruce Trail back towards the heart of Wyerton. As they pass the marina, the finish is in sight. The sounds of the music from the stage can be heard floating across the water. The first finishers cross the line, cheered along as they approach, and are frequently joined by family members proud of their amazing achievements, and rightly so. This event began with a bunch of friends meeting up with the intention of figuring out how they could indeed pull off such a fun event. To this day, it is still very much a grassroots event, one that has evolved with the help of tons of volunteers, partners, and lots of really generous landowners, not forgetting a very welcome solid financial footing from Subaru Canada. The race started in 2011 and continues to grow in popularity every year. As the race comes to an end and the finish area returns to its usual state, tired, happy, accomplished athletes start their journey home, leaving Wyerton, the peninsula, with all its beauty. And the planning for next year? Well, that just starts again.